Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another black powder update. And before you today we have another unit of Nassau, and these chaps are, let me just grab the appropriate sheet to save me lifting the figure up. This is the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Nassau, commanded by Major P. von Norman, or Norman, and they numbered 885 men. Figures wise, these chaps are, let me just zoom in, they are basically my elite battalion. However, they have got 4 front rank guys in there. Now the 4 front rank that are in here, some of them are like swap overs from the 1st Battalion. So if you remember back, some of the characters were swapped over with elites, namely the NCOs. So those 2 figures that I swapped over that were elite in my front rank battalion are swapped over in this elite battalion. And obviously there's some front rank command in there. But we'll come across that as we get to that particular stand. So without further ado, let's get going, and I'll show you a closer up look at them. So these are the 2nd of 3 battalions, so I have one more to do, and let's start off with the Grenadiers. Now the elite Grenadiers, I'm just zoom back out again a little bit. There we go. Let's raise the camera, just sort the lighting out. There we go, that's better. So here we have the Grenadiers, Grenadier Company, again in their cold packs. But you can see that the elite guys have got their dress cold packs on, so they have the extra lacing around the cold packs, where the front rank guys just had the normal field use cold packs, or maybe it's the same cold pack with just without the lacing attached. But either way, I mean, you can't really say that these foot guys are better than the front ranks, but I do still like them. I think they're in a great position. They look really nice when they're all together, and like I say, they're something that I've grown accustomed to liking, and it's always nice to have different troops where possible. I don't like having you know, battalion after battalion after battalion all made by the same company. I like to mix and match and have as many different companies as I can use. That figures, and of course the figures kind of scale up. Now I suppose the only trouble is that with the Parries guys on these particular chaps is that these are the sort of smaller sculpt Parries. I mean, I seem to remember when I was doing some of the English and French, some of their figures were a little bit on the larger side of things, so they sort of fit in really well, where I've noticed that on some of these guys that these Parries are particularly on the small side, making them you know, considerably shorter than particularly more front rank than elite. I mean, they're all more or less the same sort of size. It's just that their proportions are a lot thinner. So here we have the 4th company of the black pom-poms. Again, you know, I like them. I think there's nothing wrong with them. I think they look great. Again, you know, you can go, oh, well, faces look a bit funky, but that's just their style. I think they're in a great position. They fit on the bases nice and easy, and they're pretty easy to paint too, because of the musket covering up a lot of their front strapping. I suppose the only annoying thing about these guys was that they didn't have the defined stripe, so I had to sort of paint it on freehand, but it's not the end of the world. So that is the 4th company, Voltigeur now. Again, slightly different to the style of the front rank guys. These guys have got pom-poms. Now they do have covered shakos, but again, you know, 4 pretty similar positioned guys. I think there's one different one there. But again, they do the job, and I think they look really nice when they're formed up. So that is the voltige company. Next on to the musician. So here we have a front rank musician, along with 3 elite guys. Now, if you buy a battalion of troops from front rank, you always get 2 drummers, so it's always a done deal that the elite drummer's probably not going to be up to scratch. I don't think there was anything particularly wrong with him other than him looking just a little bit too funky. I didn't really like his position, the elite drummer, so I decided to use the front rank guy, because front rank and these chaps do actually go together pretty well. So that is the musician stand. You can see again that sort of green and yellow striping all over the drummer, and the blue and yellow, blue-yellow triangle design on the drum, and just 3 normal guys. So that is the musician stand. Next up, the NCO stand. So here we have 3 normal guys again, along with a front rank sergeant. Of course, that being quite a typical pose for an NCO figure from front rank. I think just about, I think the French use exactly the same position too, which, you know, it's probably not the end of the world, because I mean they are practically to all purposes dressed in a French uniform, so it kind of makes sense to more or less use a French NCO figure as a base for that particular guy. 3 elite guys in the background, of course, and these guys have got the blue pom-pom for the 3rd company, with of course the musicians stand being the 2nd company. So yeah, that's them. And I did actually, I'm not actually sure whether I'm actually going to put it up yet, but I did actually attempt to do a painting video on this chap and the NCO that's in the command group, as sort of you know, how I paint Nassau type things. Now I've yet to actually put it all together. I'll put it all together. I think it's going to be quite a long video. It's like I was saying, these guys are quite time consuming to paint, especially with the way that I paint them. I think my last sort of painting video that I did on a painting style of a figure was an Imperial Guardsman. I think that video was about 45 minutes, and something tells me that this the Nassau video is going to be even longer than that, just because of the sort of extra complexities of painting that particular style of figure. Now here's the command base. So on this base here, we have the elite standard holder, who I've got to say is not the best figure, but I didn't actually have any other standard bearers to use, so I had to use him. He's not too bad. I had to make a orange sash for him again, but all the other characters are front rank, including the NCO there. He's the 2nd guy that I used when I was doing the painting video. And of course we have a major in command of this particular unit, so we have a 2 pauldroned officer leading, and then we have of course the junior officer with the 1 pauldron, who's probably a captain, but he's always the junior officer, so you know, anything from a lieutenant up to a captain, it's probably a captain since it's a command stand. But yeah, they of course have the 1 epaulet. Yeah, and then of course GMB flag again. It's also a GMB, not GMB, it's a front rank topper on the pole, and I think it's also a front rank pole as well, but obviously cut from the opposite end of the lance that it was actually made from, because I didn't need the point on the end, because I was going to use a topper because of the tassels. So that is the 2nd Battalion, the 2nd Nassau, all done. So like I say, there's one more Nassau battalion to do. Then I will work on the Colonel, And then the second half of this Nassau Brigade of the 2nd Netherlands is actually the 28th Orange Nassau, and they're actually, to all intents and purposes, dressed like Dutch line, apart from the fact that they actually have French shakos, where the Dutch use Belgic shakos. So I seem to remember reading online somewhere that some guy said, why don't you just use Dutch line as 28th Orange, because Parries are basically the only company that I found that do them. So I've had to sort of get in more or less 2 duplicate battalions, which, like I've said before, I really don't like doing. But in this particular case, there's actually no choice, because although the 90% of the uniform is the same as a Dutch line, the shakos are different, and it's that is the big sort of major difference. The fact that the French use the French shako is a completely different design to the British Belgic shako design, because of course the Dutch use a lot of British gear. Yeah, so that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Big thank you again to even more subscribers. I don't know why suddenly, I went for a sort of a 2 or 3 month period of actually just losing subscribers and being stagnant, and then just suddenly out of the blue, lots of people are joining up to the channel, which is great, and I hope you enjoy the videos. And of course, another big thank you to all my normal viewers, as I say in just about every video, because it's although primarily I sort of started doing these videos for myself, I also like to at the same time help perhaps inspire you to have a go at the doing particular types of battalions yourself. I mean, at one point I was, I said to myself, oh, I'm never going to do the Dutch. I think I'm just going to do British and French, and that's it. But then, of course, go on 3 years, and I've done Brunswickers, I've done doing the Dutch, I've done Imperial Guard. It opens up doors that you don't think you're going to do, and I've got to say, so far, doing the Dutch is a great experience. It's I think they're very lots of diverse, different types of uniforms. All the units are, although basically wearing the same sort of uniform, especially with the sort of the Dutch and the Belgians, they have got enough differences to make them unique to paint. And that's it. So catch you all in the next one, and depending on how good my painting video turned out, and how long it is, I'll decide whether to actually put that up. Now, if I decide not to, then it's I think I've basically sort of run out of Nassau guys to do. So I mean, I suppose I have actually got one more battalion, so I could theoretically have another go if it's too long. But we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you're all doing well, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.